Hello guys, my name is Ray Guy, and we gotta talk about what's going on in New York today. Apparently there's a string of thefts going on here. 39 stores are leaving New York City. Oh my god, that is so loud. Hang on, my eardrums.
Several suspects in a drugstore burglary pattern.
So, you want to know why I think this is going on? Well, what I've noticed is that, of late, a lot of places aren't actually punishing thieves and putting them in jail like you're supposed to be doing, so duh. They gonna fucking steal, bro. Like, what? And it happens up here, too, in Canada. Like, I don't understand why we're treating criminals better than we treat our own citizens. Like, it's getting ridiculous. I really don't get it. So, of course, people are gonna do some dumbass shit and fucking steal and whatever. Like, if there's no repercussions for it, fucking duh. Of course they're gonna steal, right? I don't even feel comfortable leaving my car downtown for more than an hour because the longer it sits there, the bigger chance it's gonna get broken into. And it's been broken into several times, and there's nothing in there, and I drive a piece of shit of a car. I don't even know why people are breaking into it. Probably other than just the fact that, you know, to inconvenience someone who has more than they do. Which is usually the case. But anyway, let's hear what this guy has to say.
Police say the suspects were involved in 8 different incidents where they tried to break into pharmacies by breaking their glass doors or rolling down those heavy security gates.
Great, just what we need, a new robbery pattern targeting pharmacies in New York, many of which are having problems staying.
Oh, okay, so if they're targeting pharmacies, I think I actually have an idea as to why. You know, after Luigi shot that CEO, we got a bunch of Robin Hoods running around now, stealing from pharmaceutical stores, thinking that, probably thinking that they're getting profits from the same company that's screwing people out of health insurance, which isn't true by any means. But you know how people are, they'll just target the closest possible thing to what they're upset about instead of actually thinking about it logically and taking their anger out on the actual problem. Now they're just going to attack a bunch of, I wouldn't say it's like ultimately innocent businesses, but like these are just stores selling products. Maybe I'm reaching, who knows. But that's what I think. I think that it's an effect of what happened with the whole Luigi shooting that CEO thing. People are getting radicalized, and well, now they see an opportunity to do some Robin Hooding and get something out of it, essentially. Which, don't do that, by the way. And again, it's also because these people aren't actually being punished for it. Like, you can, most of the time, especially if you're of a different ethnicity or what some weirdos would consider less privileged people, they're gonna let them off the hook a little bit more. It's kind of sad to watch. Now, obviously, it doesn't happen very often. Like, it's very rare when that happens. It's not as problematic as people on social media make it out to be, but it is still a minor problem. Anyway, let's let this guy continue.
Open with Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid closing a combined 40 locations in 2024 alone, leaving New York.
Well, yeah, like if people are breaking into your store, the best thing to do is to just pick up and leave. If people are breaking in and stealing all your stuff, why are you gonna hang around? And I guarantee you that these self-promoted or little Robin Hoods thinking that they're doing something good is actually going to cause a lot of people who depend on these pharmaceuticals to actually lose out on, you know, maybe they need medication or something from there that keeps them alive. Like these types of people, they don't think about the consequences of their actions and how it's going to affect other people. They just see themselves as being self-righteous, or they're just straight up stealing because everyone else is, and you know, if you're not going to put them in jail, might as well, right? If you create the rules of engagement and people play the game, don't be mad when they play the game.
With about half the number of pharmacies it had just 10 years ago. Before our leaders thought it would be a good idea to stop sending thieves to jail, where
there it
they
is.
belong.
There it is, exactly like I just said. If you're not going to punish people for stealing, they're going to steal. It's pretty fucking simple. And I can't even get mad at the people that are stealing. Like I said, they're just playing the game that the government made the rules for.
We've spoken to several managers at various drugstores around New York City. Though none would go on camera, all tell us they've seen an increase in thefts.
Millions of dollars in stolen goods seized in Queens and put on display for the cameras. The thieves had an eye for cosmetics, beauty products, designer clothing, and accessories.
The shoplifting concerns are part of a...
Yeah, and see, like, the things that they're stealing are obviously personal items. Like, this isn't anything but just straight up theft. Like, they're stealing makeup and stuff. Like, come on, man.
growing trend in the city, but due to current laws, many of those arrested were released back on the streets to do it again.
This man just came in, grabbed a whole bunch of makeup stuff that was on the side, and just ran out. Security tried to stop him, but he was already gone.
Rafael and Sean Martez have been getting their prescriptions filled at this Walgreens for at least a year. They believe shoplifting played a role in the store's closure.
Yeah, see, there it is, just like I said. Now the people that aren't stealing from these stores are suffering, and in turn what that's going to do is it's going to create more people that are going to steal, because it's like, well, if being a good person is going to end up being less convenient for you, then why the fuck would you be a good person? If you're going to get punished for doing what's right, then of course you're going to have people steal. We need to go back to putting people in jail who do this stuff, because it's just going to keep happening, right? Until something is actually done about it, which I doubt anything's going to be done about it. Because people have essentially virtue signaled themselves, or everybody into this situation. And now we're seeing the consequences that I predicted a few years ago when I noticed that they were doing this type of stuff.
Locked up because sometimes they get boosters that come in there and steal their stuff.
I don't know if they're stealing it from here or they're stealing it from another place to sell it here.
These plexiglass screens and all these other inconveniences creates additional friction, and friction is the death of retail.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to create friction, and then friction's going to create more people that are going to steal, because why would you do something that's not in your best self-interest? They need to be punishing people for stealing, man. It's really just that simple. If not, then people are gonna steal. Fucking duh.
It's like nothing is being done.
So do you feel like it's getting bolder?
Yeah, it definitely is getting bolder.
And don't get it twisted. I'm not condoning stealing. I'm simply explaining what I'm seeing, and trying to understand why people would do this type of stuff.
Let's go.
You know? I'm basically just trying to understand what's going on and why people are doing it, because once you understand the problem, that's how you solve it.
So, nearly half of New York City's drugstores have disappeared over the last decade as retail theft continues running rampant. But what nobody's talking about is all of these pharmacy closures. They're happening 1 year after our leaders promised to get tough on shoplifting, a promise many businesses are still waiting for them to keep. And sadly, if you walk through any pharmacy...
Well, see, the problem is the Democrats like to make lots of promises, and they never fulfill any of them unless it actually fulfills their delusion of grandeur to make themselves look good. They don't actually want to solve any problems, they just want to look good.
In town, you'll be greeted with all the signs that the high crime environment afflicting our stores is here to stay, with locations throughout New York locking up their products because here we won't lock up our criminals. Because stealing here's been decriminalized, making New York a breeding ground for professional criminals who take things that aren't theirs and then sell them on the internet or on the side of the street somewhere, perpetually.
Well, yeah, and like even if they're selling it on the internet and they're still not getting punished for it, like they're essentially self-reporting themselves and putting the stolen products on Facebook Marketplace. You know where they are. You know that they're selling stolen stuff. Why aren't you putting them in jail? Like, what the fuck is this? This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard of. It's not like, oh, we don't know where they are. Bruh. Just go to Facebook Marketplace. Their address is right there.
Funding illegal retail arbitrage businesses that will exist as long as shoplifting here remains a non-jailable misdemeanor, provided it's peaceful shoplifting that doesn't escalate to a physical altercation with another person.
Peaceful shoplifting. Oh, is that what we're gonna call it now? Peaceful shoplifting. No, it's still shoplifting. Don't sit here and try to use nice words to try to make it sound less than what it actually is. You're a fucking thief. I don't care what reason you have for stealing, whatever delusion you feed in your mind to come to whatever conclusion that you think it's okay to steal from people. You're still a fucking thief. Don't insult everybody's intelligence by trying to play this mental gymnastics that you're a good person for doing it. You're gonna fucking steal. Do it with a smile on your face. Stop insulting everybody's intelligence. You're a fucking thief.
Draw. And as for some reason, our criminal sympathizer leaders don't think destroying security barriers or cut.
Criminal sympathizer leaders. That's a good one. Yeah. There it is, guys. And what's going to happen if nothing gets done about this? You're just going to keep having more people become thieves because, like I said, it's more convenient to just join the criminals when they're being treated better than you are. It's really sad to see, honestly.
Cutting security tags counts as violent behavior.
And that brings us to the real reason why New York is losing so many pharmacies, leaving many neighborhoods without a viable alternative to get things like prescription medication or everyday basic items.
Many of these businesses.
Exactly. Like, this isn't... The only people that are actually going to suffer from this are the people that are going to have a lot of pain or potentially die without prescription medication. So congratulations, you killed everybody's grandparents. Hope you're proud of yourself.
Businesses were already struggling for a variety of reasons, and as retail theft continues to creep up, it erodes whatever was left in the store's margins, leaving them no choice but to shut down. Something Walgreens alone did 22 times last year, leaving it with just 189 locations left in New York. However, as you're about to see, retail theft isn't just a problem for pharmacies that end up closing. It also raises the cost of living for every New Yorker, even those who already buy
Yeah, that's another big part of this. So if you're gonna go around stealing shit from stores, the rest of us are going to be the ones who pay in the end, because the stores are going to increase the prices in order to try to get some of that money back. And people like to play and say this dumbass shit. Well, oh well, the stores are covered by insurance, blah 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 blah. Yeah, it's not the fucking point. Insurance is only going to cover them for so much. If you just keep fucking doing it, the insurance companies are going to find a reason not to pay them. The stores are going to start locking shit up, increasing the prices, and your little fucking charade of pretending to be Robin Hood is going to fuck us all in the ass in the end.
Everything online from places like Amazon, revealing that as criminals loot and destroy these businesses, they're actually destroying New York City itself.
But these people, they don't think about that kind of stuff because they're selfish pieces of shit.
So New York City has obviously got a lot of former retail storefronts that have been shut down. But if you want to see what out-of-control retail theft is really doing to the city, take a look at the stores that are still open.
Like this one, where pretty much everything is locked up behind plexiglass, except for low-demand products nobody's buying right now in New York, like sunscreen. Look at this, even the picture...
Shocker, no one's stealing the sunscreen.
Of the product that is here, so you don't steal the actual product. Even it's locked up, so you don't steal the picture.
But on top of all this in-store security, you'll...
People are even stealing the pictures, bro. Like, come on.
Also see something else, a blinking camera array on top of this CVS with flashing lights meant to scare criminals into thinking the police could be inside, or at least watching. But sadly, none of this security is having...
Yeah, if people keep doing this type of shit, we're gonna go into that dystopian future of Cyberpunk 2077, where the corporations start putting, like, crazy-looking cameras all over everything, and they watch your every single move. We are pushing ourselves into a problem that we don't want. Because a percentage of very selfish assholes want to go around stealing a bunch of stuff. You're essentially screwing everybody else out of basic things and pushing companies to push back on us. You think they're just going to sit back and do nothing? No, of course not. The more you fuck with them, the more they're gonna fuck with you. Eventually, what's gonna happen is they're gonna have to have like armed guards in the store. You really don't want that.
The intended effect because
it's gonna be like fucking Mexico here pretty soon.
Our stores are still shutting down.
It's terrible what's going on.
Rafael and Sean Martez have been getting their prescriptions filled at this Walgreens for at least a year.
This poor old couple here can't get the prescription medication they need, and they're probably in pain because of it. And for what?
They believe shoplifting played a role in the store's closure.
I have seen it happen right in front of my face. This man just came in, grabbed a whole bunch of makeup stuff that was on the side, and just ran out. Security.
So, as you can tell from all this security plastic, these places are getting robbed constantly, sometimes right in front of paying customers. And look at all the cracks around this product locker here on this tie. It's almost as if somebody tried to tamper with this and break through it to get at the products underneath. And before we get into the unstoppable proportions this crime wave has now reached, look at who the real victims are from all this stealing. Now, of course, the store itself is a victim of crime, obviously, but the people who live near a place like this, they're the ones that suffer the most, because after a store like this is gone, where do they go?
Yeah, see, he said exactly what I just said. The stores aren't going to be the ones who suffer the most. It's going to be average people like your neighbors and your grandparents and people that need this stuff to be available to them. And now the stores have got them locked up and all this stuff, and it's just going to make it harder and harder for people to get the things they need. You're not sticking it to the men, you're sticking it to your own fucking friends and family. Thanks. We appreciate it.
Go to get the things they need and have relied on buying from it on a weekly basis. And what about the people that work at a place like this? Once it's gone, where are they going to work? Now, yes, every time a store like this shuts down over crime, the brand always says that they'll do everything they can to redeploy their workforce to other locations. But that just hurts everybody, because now the people who work at those other locations are going to have less hours because there's now a surplus of workers. If the workers that were at a store that closed can even get to whatever location they've been redeployed to. But even if the workers can get to the new location, so can the criminals. In fact, they ride around on the subway here for free because we don't care.
Yeah, that's another thing. So now the minimum wage workers that work there who are just trying to live life like the rest of us, now they either gotta uplift their entire life or get a new job. And a lot of these people there's probably not a lot of jobs looking for minimum wage work right now. The people that you think you are getting back at are the only people in this whole situation that aren't going to suffer.
Care about fare evasion either. And that's the real problem here, because if customers need a new store to shop at and workers need a new store to work at, criminals, they're going to need a new store to steal from, and everybody's going to end up at whatever store is still hanging on. And hanging on is definitely the best way to describe it. After one Upper East Side pharmacy closed, the sole surviving location said that they were getting robbed once an hour. And as you're about to see, closing stores is not going to put a stop to New York City's theft problems at all. In fact, it's only going to make it worse.
Another guy, while he was chasing him, stole candy.
It's like nothing is being done.
So do you feel like it's getting bolder?
Yeah, it definitely is getting bolder.
Walgreens said only economic headwinds are making it too difficult to cover.
So the reason it seems like theft is getting more out of control and thieves are getting bolder and more brazen is because they have to. You've got the same number of criminals, but now you've got fewer stores to steal from. Like this CVS right here, its theft problems definitely got worse after the Walgreens, which was across the street, shut down. When that happened, any crime that was taking place split between the two stores now all has to happen at just one store. And you can tell from the lack of rust and...
Yeah, and what's going to happen is these things are going to be, they call it peaceful shoplifting for now. Well, all it takes is for someone to escalate that, and someone's going to get shot, murdered, and then you're going to have this situation escalate further and further until it becomes like a even bigger problem.
Dings in the paint on these cabinets that many of them are a recent installation here. And not only are many of these aisles completely walled off on both sides, you've also got that blinking security camera. The store's literally doing everything it can to deter crime. And
I don't know if you guys can see it. I'll put it on the screen here in a second now that we're done this dungeon. Look at this fucking camera.
I've also got that blink.
Like, do you see? Look at this thing. That is so insane. That's sitting here with like blinking police lights. Like, this is getting ridiculous.
Security camera. The store's literally doing everything it can to deter crime. And that's because any surviving store is under more pressure now than it's ever been. And there's no way out from any of this. Unless, of course, laws were to be passed that made crime again. But since that's not happening, every single thing you see here are the last moves of a store that probably won't be here forever. But you know, the real problem is all of this product security. It doesn't just deter thieves, it also deters customers.
These plexiglass screens and all these other inconveniences that are added to customers who are simply there to make a purchase creates additional friction, and friction is the death of retail.
Walgreens said in a statement,
friction is the death of retail. He's 100% right, and if it takes longer to buy things in a physical store, less people are going to put up with that. But it's not just the inconvenience factor that's a big deal here. All this security costs money. It's not free, because every time somebody wants to...
No, and I know some people are going to be like, oh, boo-hoo, people are losing their convenience. You don't understand. This affects you too. It's gonna get to a point where you end up going to a store and you have to find an employee to essentially get every single item that you want to purchase out of a glass cabinet like this. And you really think the company's gonna hire a bunch more people so that it's easier for you to get your stuff? Fuck no. They're gonna say, tough shit, sucks to be you, go fuck yourself. If you want the products, you're gonna have to wait.
To buy something, they need a human to help them get it, and that costs money. And that money can only come from one place. Just look at the price of this deodorant. It's absolutely expensive, almost $20 when a 3-pack of the exact...
$20 for a pack of deodorant in the United States. That is fucking crazy, bro. $20 for deodorant. It's like, even here in Canada, which people like to make fun of us, you know, oh, Canada doesn't have real money. Well, I'm not paying 20 bucks for deodorant, you are. Our money is worth less than yours, and I'm paying less for products.
Same stuff costs $23 on Amazon right now. That's crazy. And if prices are going up and convenience is going down, what reason is there to even shop in a physical store anymore? You'd literally...
I wanna use the Old West as an example. I don't know if they talk about it much anymore in school, like history class or whatever. There was a time when people would they'd rob trains. And eventually what happened is average people couldn't afford to take the train anymore. They had armed guards on the train. And if you were even so much as somewhat suspicious, they would fucking shoot you. This is what this is barreling us towards. It's gonna get so bad that they're gonna, like I said, they're gonna have armed guards. And people are gonna get shot. People are gonna die. It's going to become... like life and death, so you can go buy $50 deodorant. This is not a smart way to be living. If the government doesn't actually do something about this, it's going to spiral into a massive problem. And again, like when I was talking about the McDonald's video, we need to be holding our governments accountable and upholding laws that they should be upholding, instead of worrying about identity politics and other stuff. Yes, those things are important too, but this is a far more major issue that is happening right now that needs a solution.
Really have to be desperate for some overpriced item and need it immediately for some sudden purpose to even go into one of these places. But if things are 3 times the price of what you can get them for on the internet, people are going to change their habits, and most people are. They're willing to wait a couple of days to get their dryer sheets. Just order your dryer sheets ahead of time. That way you don't have to run out and then come into a store and pay more than you'd pay on the internet.
Well, think about it this way. If it's cheaper to order stuff online from Amazon, it's also going to be much more convenient, and you don't have to go into traffic, you don't have to deal with other people. It shows right up at your front door. Yeah, of course people are gonna do that. You really want to risk getting robbed when you're trying to just go get some milk? Fuck that.
However, the internet is a double-edged sword because it's both the cure for in-store theft and the cause of in-store theft in many cases. Because although you can't steal these cleaning products from Amazon as it's online, someone else could steal them from a place like this and then resell them back to you. And that is the whole reason stores like this, no matter how well guarded they are, may not have a whole lot of time left, at least in this city.
Right here, guys. Remember what I said? They're gonna start putting armed guards in the fucking stores. This is fucked up. We actually have armed guards with assault rifles in the shopping mall.
So this right here behind me is probably the most well-guarded Walgreens in the entire city. Not only
well-guarded, my god.
In a brand new.
Did anybody think that someone would be saying the words "the most well-guarded Walgreens"? Holy fuck, bro. Walgreens needing fucking armed military guards to protect their store. This is not okay.
Train station, which is being patrolled by National
But I get it.
Guard troops, and exits are limited. You can't just run out of this place right through this massive front door and then be on the street. No, you're still in a facility which is being monitored. But even though you'll see a few more free-range products on the shelves of this.
Bro, imagine going to the grocery store to get some stuff, and it's like trying to get into a fucking military base. To get in and out, you got armed guards watching all the exits and entrances, checking you as you come in and out. All because some fucking filthy pieces of shit want to take advantage of some bad laws that a really bad government made. This is like movie plot stuff.
Particular store compared to the CVS we were just in, there is still a lot of progressive plexiglass in here, that's for sure. Because sadly, even a place like this is not immune to theft.
As long as there are resale markets that are not held accountable for the sale of stolen goods, then this kind of conduct is only going to get worse.
Here's how it works. A criminal network hires an individual or crew called boosters. After robbing a retailer, they turn over the stolen goods to someone waiting nearby called a fence. The fence then takes the haul to a home or warehouse where a...
Bro, this is some movie video game shit. Holy crap.
cleaner removes the anti-theft devices or marks.
So there's a couple angles to this online retail theft component. The first angle is that it makes it very easy for anybody to say that they have a product and to list it for sale and to offload it. And the second problem is that these companies like Amazon benefit whenever something is sold on their site. They take a cut, and some people say that's why they aren't doing more to get rid of illegal products from their sites. However, even though Amazon and eBay benefit from the sale of anything, no matter where it's from, it's not the fault of these sites that New York has a massive retail theft problem. A problem which is so bad we've even got to lock up our ice cream with a massive patent.
The ice
for the
cream,
size
bro.
of this thing. Now, of course, you can't sell ice cream online, but there's another place you can sell it in New York City, which is why this stuff, too, is locked up, revealing that it is not the fault of the internet alone that New York has a $4.4 billion shoplifting economy. But before we get into the other ways stolen products are offloaded in this city that is unique to it, it's important to understand that even if Amazon stamped out every illegal listing on their entire site, this stuff, it would still get taken and it would still end up somewhere else because people who steal want money. And even though Amazon and eBay...
Well, duh, of course. This has nothing to do with anything other than profit. People are stealing from these stores because they want money. Yeah.
They probably should be doing more to keep the sale of illicit goods from taking place on their platforms. The real problem is places like New York aren't doing enough to stop criminals from taking things in the first place.
No.
Here's an example of a serial shoplifter with over 100 arrests. How is this even allowed to happen? How is somebody...
100 arrests. Bro has been put in jail and released 100 times for shoplifting. That is fucking insane.
allowed to commit 100 crimes and still be walking around on the streets. And how are we supposed to expect this person to learn something?
And he'll fucking do it again.
They get arrested that they didn't learn the other 100 times. We're not. And criminals like this are the real reason New York has an out-of-control crime problem. Now, that doesn't mean Amazon is innocent. After all, the more products that are locked up in stores, the more people who will just go online to buy from them. But the reality here is that in New York, you've got a lot of places to offload something that you took and want to resell, and the city's not doing anything about it.
Millions of dollars in stolen goods seized in Queens and put on display for the cameras. The thieves had an eye for cosmetics, beauty products, designer clothing.
The defendants utilized social media, Instagram, and other online resources to advertise for the stolen goods for sale both here and for abroad.
Thousands of...
So here we've got a multi-million-dollar crime ring which was busted towards the end of last year. And they didn't just sell on Amazon. They sold on pretty much every website, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. And they also sold things physically here in New York and physically in other countries. Not to mention, you've also got people selling things on blankets on the sides of the road throughout New York. Police see this stuff happening. They walk right by. Nothing gets done about it. It's not even legal to do that without a license. And this...
Well, no, because the police are told not to do anything about it. I think they're going to go to their way to do something when they've been told not to. You know, you had a bunch of weird virtue signaling retards who wanted to defund the police and change the laws so that it's more convenient for criminals to do stuff. This is the result. Congratulations. You patted your egos for so long that now we have a real problem on our hands. I hope making yourself look good on social media was worth it.
Sad reality is that New York is just such a big place with so many people living in it that anybody who's got that entrepreneurial spirit and zero morals, and who also might not have the computer skills necessary to take pictures of stuff on their phone and then list it for sale on a website, they can make money in a number of ways. The first thing they can do would be to take the products they steal to somebody else who wants to sell them online. They could also unload them from a suitcase and sell them themselves if they want to. Or
damn, bro. Bro's got Bro had a whole inventory, bro. Brand new products. He opened up that suitcase and it was just bam.
Or bodega. That's why the ice cream is locked up. It gets stolen and then gets transported to another store where it then gets resold. This happens with clothes as well. There was a quote-unquote cosmetics store that was selling stolen goods from stores like Macy's, and it existed around the corner from Macy's in a physical location where customers could walk in.
So shameless, bro. They're stealing it from one store and selling it to another store. This is some messed up stuff, bro. We are devolving. We are going back in time as a society. This is messed up.
And they had stolen items from pretty much every store. Macy's, Nordstrom's, all of it in their stores. Some of it with the same tags that it had on it in the store that it was taken.
They don't even take the motherfucking tags off? Are you kidding me? Holy.
Out of. And when you hear about stuff like that, and then you go to a store like this and you see things like ice cream behind bars, and when you see the vans of products parked in middle-class neighborhoods that are like miniature shopping malls that can drive away when the police show up, the full reality of New York's predicament when it comes to...
Bro's got a whole van full of boots here, you see this? Just casually on the side of the road, police don't care. Just can't do anything. Might as well. I can't. I genuinely cannot be mad at these people for doing this. You know who I'm mad at? The fucking government for allowing it to happen. People are just playing the game.
To emerge. It's so big, no store can stop it. And we're at a point now where anything that can be stolen will be stolen and taken somewhere else for profit. And obviously none of the security is a deterrent whatsoever, because you can have as many police and as many National Guard troops as you want. A store like this in a well-guarded area, it's still gonna have to lock things up because criminals just don't care. They know that if they wait long enough inside the store, an opportunity will arise for them to take something that's not theirs and then rob.
Well, and see, the problem is when the store actually does do something about it, they're held liable and they're the ones who are punished, not the fucking thieves. That's the issue.
It's terrible. And right now we've got criminals with hundreds of arrests just wandering our streets looking for new opportunities to do the thing that they've done hundreds of times already. They're the reason a brand new Walgreens and a brand new train station still has to lock everything up, even though it's surrounded by people in full military dress. And is Amazon partly responsible for this? Absolutely. They gain new customers every single day. Somebody walks into a place like this and has to wait longer than they want to buy something that they know is already overpriced. But the reality here is that without new laws that criminalize crime once again in this city, more of our stores are going to shut down. More pharmacies this year will close, just like they did last year, and there will be even less places for people to buy basic things. And the quality of life for New Yorkers is going to go down, while the costs to live here go up as the remaining stores do even more to crack down on crime because our laws won't. What do you think about that? Should people who steal go to jail, or should we do something else? Let me know. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.
The NYPD is looking for
100% Like, why is this even a conversation? 120% criminals should be punished for breaking a law. Because this is what happens. People might have some weird sense of justice for doing what they're doing, but at the end of the day, the only people that are paying for this are us. You think some billionaire might get minorly inconvenienced by this? Oh, boo-hoo. No, man, it's gonna be like the average people. Like, there was an old couple in here that couldn't get their prescription medications anymore for whatever pains they were going through. Congratulations. You stuck it to the wrong people. Anyway. I think more people need to talk about this problem too. But as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.